The Times of India recently published an article stating that due to differing values and positions, India's interest in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization and BRICS is declining. On June 26, 2025, at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Defense Ministers meeting in Qingdao, China, India's Defense Minister Rajnath Singh refused to sign the joint statement, resulting in no joint communiqué being issued. The statement failed to mention the armed attack on April 22, 2025, in Pahalgam, Kashmir, under Indian control, and India demanded condemnation of Pakistan. I think the Indian defense minister's brain might be broken, as the United Nations also refused to pass such a resolution, indicating India's accusations against Pakistan lack evidence. So why should the Shanghai Cooperation Organization accommodate India's unreasonable demands? Moreover, so much time has passed, and both sides have even engaged in intense border conflicts. Yet India has not captured a single militant. International media have ample reason to suspect this is a false flag event orchestrated by Modi, and the International Court of Justice in The Hague should investigate him. Regarding the setback at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Defense Ministers meeting, Indian media were smug because India once again successfully disrupted the collective efforts of other member states. In fact, due to India's significant destructive role, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization and BRICS are facing functional dysfunction. Initially, due to Russia's support, China was forced to agree to India's inclusion in many China-Russia-led international organizations, and now it is time to pay for those mistaken decisions. As a spokesperson for the U.S. and Western interests, or rather the U.S.'s watchdog, India faithfully carries out its master's various instructions. India refuses to join other BRICS member states in promoting the BRICS payment system and de-dollarization, insisting on safeguarding the interests of its U.S. master. Although after Trump took office, the U.S. government offered no rewards to Indians, or dog food, used tariff sticks to heavily beat India, and globally broadcasted humiliation of Modi during his visit, stating after the India-Pakistan air conflict that India's war is not the U.S.'s business. India still strives to please the U.S. After the British Empire's dissolution, as a stray dog, India's new master, the Soviet Union, also collapsed. Russia's declining national strength forced India, which always needs a master, to closely follow the U.S. No matter how the U.S. beats or humiliates it, India must secure its watchdog identity certification. The heads of state of China and Russia were unable to attend the BRICS summit hosted by Brazil for certain reasons. China sent its State Council Premier, the head of government, which is not considered a downgrade. However, Russia only sent its foreign minister due to Brazil's unclear stance on the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant for Putin. These soft obstacles reflect growing mutual distrust among BRICS member states, which is precisely the result of India's efforts. All countries are beginning to resist collective action for their own interests, and I believe the Shanghai Cooperation Organization and BRICS will face a crisis of inaction for a long time, potentially even existing in name only. The most disgusting aspect of India is that it is unwilling to cooperate in collective actions, yet refuses to leave these organizations. Many have called for expelling India from these organizations, unaware that these organizations were established without expulsion mechanisms. The reason Indian media are so smug is that by disrupting these organizations, they have thwarted China's diplomatic efforts. I believe Russia must bear the primary responsibility, as these organizations were established when Russia's influence was no less than China's, and it was at Russia's strong insistence that China agreed to work with India. If these organizations truly enter a state of paralysis, for China, it may not entirely be a bad thing. This is because China can establish new organizations completely bypassing India and even Russia. For example, the China Central Asia Summit excluded India and Russia, effectively advancing key projects like the China-Kyrgyzstan-Uzbekistan Railway. Through this railway, China can bypass Russia to reach Turkey and Europe, reducing dependence on Russia. The International Organization for Mediation established in Hong Kong also did not invite Russia or India. In the future, China's foreign policy will clearly separate Russia and India, negotiating with them individually. China's policy toward India will shift from past attempts at cooperation to technological blockade, economic isolation, political indifference, and military preparedness. In other words, it will completely abandon the possibility of friendship with India, treating it as a target for attack. Many netizens suggest China send troops to occupy India's northeastern states and support the Khalistan independence movement. However, China's primary task now is to develop its economy and technology to win the technological war against the US. In about 10 years, the soft competition between China and the US will yield results. China is unlikely to lose, but will not defeat the US either. And both sides will reach a new balance under new interest boundaries, with China gaining a larger sphere of influence. China's new energy strategy will peak in about 10 years, significantly reducing its dependence on the Middle East. And with the rapid development of Chinese military technology, the combat capability of the Chinese military will reach new heights. That will be the time to address India. China's core interest areas include Pakistan and Taiwan. The Taiwan issue involves 23 million compatriots, so war should be avoided, instead using strong military power to compel the other side's regime to compromise. How can such strength be demonstrated? Empty talk is meaningless. Only actual combat is convincing. Bullying countries like Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, or Yemen, as the US does, clearly lacks honor. Thus, India, which claims to be the world's third military power and has long pursued hegemonism in South Asia, becomes the best practice target. China can choose the right moment to launch a comprehensive war against India, completely resolving territorial disputes with India while dismembering India, permanently eliminating its threat to South Asia and world peace. My view is simple. If China does not dare to fight India, the US will not be willing to make peace with China. Conversely, direct confrontation with the US military would be disadvantageous, as China has not fought a large-scale foreign war in nearly half a century. Therefore, India is the best and only choice for war. Due to the Indian government's vulture diplomacy, frequently betraying allies, it has become the most isolated country globally. India's hegemonism has led to poor relations with all its neighbors. Even Indian diaspora have a less than favorable reputation worldwide. Striking India carries the lowest risk, as no major world power would intervene in a war for it. Moreover, India is a significant enough opponent, yet not overly challenging. So from now on, we can focus on both sides' war preparations. And once conflict breaks out, we will immediately see who the real clown is.